Hello, everyone. I'm Mary Elizabeth. Welcome to BBB, Book Buddy Banter. That is today. Today, I'm accompanied by my Felicia, my daughter. Say hello.
Hi.
And we are going to be talking about a book that we've been buddy reading called Jane Steele by Lindsay Fay. And just a little description is like the heroine of the novel she adores, often Jane Steele suffers at the hands of her aunt and schoolmaster. And like Jane Eyre, they call her wicked. But in this case, she fears the accusation is true. When she flees, she leaves behind the corpse of her tormentors. After her escape, she takes a position as governess to Mr. Thornfield and soon falls in love. But what happens if he discovers her murderous past? So, excuse me, I'm just going to fix this just a little bit. Sorry about my hand. This is our first BB&B, so we're going to learn as we go. Hopefully it gives you a chuckle along the way. So let me start by saying what I did for Christmas of 2022 is for my daughter, I made a boxed gift that I made 12 books, one for each month, and I wrapped them individually so she doesn't know from month to month what books we're going to be reading, and as a result we're going to do a once a month book buddy. This one is going up a little late because it's our first time, and this is going to be a trial and error video, and probably, in all honesty, all of them will be growing as we learn, and hopefully you can enjoy the process along with us. So, without further ado, we're going to talk about Jane Steele.
The best book ever.
The best book ever. Okay, so here we go. Here's how we're starting. So, I rated the book 5 stars.
I did too.
You did too.
I did.
Yeah. I felt that this had a lot of feelings to it. A lot of...
Oh my god. There's not enough tissues in the world. There's not enough tissues in the world, and I love the original Jane Eyre. I do. And I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for saying this, and this is your channel, so I'm sorry. But I think this book was better than Jane Eyre. But personally, as much as I love Jane Eyre, I preferred Wuthering Heights better than... And that's not saying comparing. I just, if I had to pick one to read forever, it'd be Wuthering Heights.
Right.
So, as much as I love Jane Eyre, I think this version, this Jane Steele,
yeah,
I was hooked from chapter 1, and I didn't stop.
It does catch you. It does catch your attention. Yes, it pulls you in, and I think the author did a great job paying homage to Jane
absolutely.
Eyre. And there are certainly areas where you know it's a Jane Eyre vibe. Like the house is obviously a vibe to the house. The one thing about Jane Steele is some of her thoughts kind of caught me. So one of the quotes was, "Why was I always suffering, always browbeaten, always accused, forever condemned? Why could I never please? Why was it useless to try to win anyone's favor?" And I apologize, I am looking at my notes that I took, so... But that quote kind of renaissance with me growing up, and it's those feelings that kind of come up because she did have a rough life, between her mom, her aunt, the school, everything.
That hit a lot.
So those types of things. There definitely was a big surprise in this book, a kind of reveal, so to speak, that involves her aunt, which I did not see coming.
No, I did not see that coming. However, the not being liked by your aunt, and she was really mean, really hit for me a lot, and I related to Jane and that aspect of that. I think that's what caught me more. I was like, okay, I really love Jane. Like, I get this part a lot. And I just kept going, and the characters, man. The whole book.
Yes, the characters, the secondary characters, the main character, really great. You bought into every character. Like, they had something that grabbed you.
Yes, and one of them, I guess he's minor, but I would have loved to have seen more of him.
Which was...
Correct me if I'm wrong, he probably is a constable, but I would assume a detective. Quill Feather. I would have loved more of him in the book. Like, I really, really love his character.
Yes. And he knows
so
more than what he's letting on,
and
he learns quickly.
Yes.
What's going on and what's happening.
And he's so good.
Yes.
So good.
Yes.
I would have loved more of him.
And I love that how strong Jane was. Even as a kid, she was strong.
Very strong. She
was a survivor.
Yes.
And she protected the innocent. Like,
she did.
She did. She really protected the innocent. And I think that that's such a good quality.
In her. Oh, my God.
Yeah. And people gravitated towards her. People saw her as a protector. I think even some of the adults looked at her as sort of a protector. Thinking of one person in particular, but that I think shouldn't have put her in the situation that they did. But for some reason, they just felt like put it out there for her to find, for her to...
But I think she was so scared and knew no one would believe her because this person, as evil as they were, was very smart, had very connections, and was very popular.
Yes,
as supposedly being
but
this
to have it be a child.
No, I know.
That you're so. My point is that, I mean, even as a child, there was an adult that saw her as the stronger person.
Or felt the authorities would believe a child over her.
Yeah,
Which, I mean, that's a sad situation. That's really sad if that is the case.
I don't know. However, I think it put her in the position to go against, front to front with that person, which, as an adult, I don't think,
right,
you should do. But for some reason that happened and that played out. But, so I did give this a 5-star.
Oh, absolutely.
And one of the scenes that, again, I'm looking at my notes, so.
Me too.
So one of the scenes that struck me was Quill Feather explaining to Jane. So there's an incident that happens, and we're trying not to do any kind of spoilers, but there's an incident that happens, and apparently Jane blames herself for this incident, and you don't realize that until Quill Feather is speaking, and he says to her, just because you didn't scream doesn't mean you did anything wrong or wanted anything to happen. And I just think about, as humans, as anyone, no one knows how you're going to react in an emergency or, a threatening situation. You don't know. You could be the person that takes charge and makes things happen, or you can be the person that screams and screams and screams, or you can be the person that freezes and clams up and, the fear overtakes you and you can't move and you can't do anything. So I just thought that was a real, thought-provoking statement for him to say that he acknowledged that and he knew that of her. So to share that with her, to kind of free her in that aspect of that piece was important. Yeah, and I agree with you. I would love to see more of Quill Feather. I think he would make actually a good, detective series. Yes. He was really good.
So good.
Yeah. And so the other thing I want to talk about is the house.
Oh my God, the house.
Now, the basement.
Dude, I hate basements. So like, the fact that she wanted to keep going in the basement, I'm like, why?
Yes. And why
do you want to go in the basement?
Yes. And this is when Jane Steele becomes the governess for Thornfield. And she is told that the one place she can't go is the basement. So immediately I'm thinking Jane Eyre. and there's a wife down there or something, you know.
Oh my!
But
Was it in Jane Eyre? Wasn't it a separate tower or like an attic
it might have, yeah,
she
but it
was
had
in?
the wife. So
that we assume is dead?
yeah,
Kind of thing.
so
Yep.
I was assuming, okay, you know, this author just made it the basement and not the attic.
Yeah.
And that's not the case, but I won't tell you what's in the basement.
No.
You'll have to read it to find out yourself. But I had no idea what was in the basement.
No.
And, you know, things were happening and going on, and never in a million years would I have figured out what it was. So, you know, that was...
my brain went, I've seen enough horror movies to know if there's a locked basement, you don't go in the basement.
Right. Yeah.
And she was like determined to go into the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head I'm going, that's not going to end well. Like,
Yes.
don't go in the basement.
Yes. So I thought that was really...
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that kept it a little, you know,
Suspenseful.
and a little scary, thinking,
Yes.
you know, what is in that basement.
Yep.
And then the other character I liked was, and I'm sure I'm saying his name wrong, Sin?
Singe?
Yeah, he
Oh my
was
God, yes.
he was with Thornfield. He was
Yes.
his
his best friend, yeah.
Yeah.
I loved him too.
I loved him. He had, you know, he was a pacifist, but
He kind
you know,
of
would
had some...
do what he needed to do, and you know, he was very gentle and he was very caring for Jane.
Yes.
Which,
I mean, I can't speak for everyone. He kind of reminded me of a Watson. Very caring, very loyal to his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I got definitely some John Watson vibes. But in a good way.
Okay.
And I liked that. Especially their friendship.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a doctor, but I can see
No.
what you're saying, that
But that
you know,
loyalty and would die for...
Thornfield.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
I got some Watson vibes,
Mhm.
which is kind of good
Okay.
because I do enjoy a good Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. As do I. Yes. The one downside to the book that
Is it similar to mine?
I don't know, but one of the things that I'm not a big fan on in stories is drug use.
That's exactly what I put.
Yeah.
I didn't care for the drug use.
Yeah, I mean, and I know that is common. It might have been even more common back in those days, but you know, it's a personal.
Yep, that was my issue. That's my only issue with Sherlock Holmes.
It's a personal thing. Yeah.
Yeah, is the drug use.
But it didn't deter me from reading the book.
I hope
I
that
loved
wasn't a
it.
spoiler. I don't know if anyone reads Sherlock Holmes, but my bad. Sorry, but that is one of my
Yeah.
things which made me so sad reading Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. So in this,
Yeah,
this,
that's true.
even children, you know,
And
have
how they
an
can obtain it.
Well, it sounds like it's
Especially
used.
then.
It sounded like it was used in, and it's my ignorance. I'm not really sure how that happens. You know
Yeah.
how that happened back then, but
Exactly.
children had access to it,
which I don't know
and
how.
used it, and you know, but it's just not. It wasn't my favorite part of the book.
no.
You know, but I understand why it was there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
understand why it was used. It wasn't just used to be there or willy nilly.
Yeah.
It was.
There was
It was a
reasonings.
purpose to it.
Yes.
So. Yeah, and I would definitely read more books by her.
Yeah.
If this is any indication of her
Wow.
writing and style.
I don't know if you look to the back of the book, but apparently she has her own Watson Sherlock Holmes series.
I did not know that. No.
That looks really good.
Okay.
And there's a description. And it looks really good. And she has a separate detective one as well. But I forget what she called that. Sorry, I'm like looking.
No, that's okay.
I don't know what the first one is. It might be The Gods of Gotham. Yep.
And that's a detective?
And it's Timothy Wilde, her detective.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that might be something down the road to check out.
Yes.
Okay.
And it looks like there's a lot of them with him.
Okay.
The Gods of Gotham, Seven for Secret, Fatal Flame. And it looks like the latest one is Crime Files.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll have to check that out. I think that, again, she did her own story, but was respectful
Of the original, yes.
of the original. And I love that Jane still carried Jane Eyre around.
Oh my god, I did too.
It just
I
made me,
did.
my nerdiness.
Yeah, Carrot always having a book.
Always having a book. I don't go anywhere without a book. So that was a huge thing for me.
Can we talk about Thornfield for a minute?
Oh, yes, we can.
Because I'm gonna. In this, I never thought I would ever see.
Sorry, everyone. My battery died. We're back. So you were saying about Thornfield?
Thornfield is so lovable, mysterious, and broken all at the same time, but I love him.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely love him.
He is definitely mysterious, yes.
Yes.
And yes.
And loyal.
Yes.
Very loyal.
Yes. I actually found him funny.
Oh, he was hilarious.
Yeah, there was some, especially with Jane.
Yes.
I found him funny with her.
Very funny with her.
I think he was trying to be funny, and she sometimes didn't
Know what to make of it.
that was what he was doing. But yeah, so I think he is a great character.
He is.
But going back to Quillfeather,
Oh my god.
I hope she takes the message,
Mhm.
Lindsay Faye, and makes a detective series.
Just
using
about with him, yes.
Quillfeather, yes.
He was perfect.
Yes. So, to end this, not a series, wish it would be.
Yes. Wish
Lindsay,
it was.
please make it a series of different classics. That would be wonderful.
Amazing.
And, before we end, which I just spilled all over my book.
I'm so sorry.
That's not good. But anyway, our next book for next month, for February, will be Poppy Harmon Investigates a Desert Flowers Mystery. This is a series, and the author is Lee Hollis. So if you would like to read it with us and share in the comments what you think. Also share in the comments what you think of Jane Steele if you have read it, or if hopefully we have piqued your interest to read it. Until next time, thank you for joining us. I hope you're safe and loved, and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.